Hey y'all, how you doing, man? Literally Logic. Um, make a short video. I just have a couple thoughts. There's a real good chance that no one will ever fully understand you. Maybe not even you. And we could express ourselves and try to be as real as we can be. And at the end of the day, people ain't going to absorb your fullness. They're not going to connect to it if you're being real and genuine. You know, if you're not, then you probably don't deserve to be understood. But if you are trying to be authentic, um, your deepest feelings, you can express them, but they'll probably not be collected or processed the way you delivered it. So it's kind of sad, but it's real. I guess the only one who will ever really know us better than ourselves would be God, the Creator. You know, Christ Jesus, who's God in a body. The human God. But it's kind of sad. And we're like one word or one day away from being disconnected from everything and everybody we thought was relevant in our lives. Because we all have unique experiences. Like we have things that happen to us, and our interpretation and perception of these things are very unique. And they can accumulate. And you try to express them to your closest friends, your family. And because they're not sharing that same experience, they're most likely not going to, conclude what you do. I mean, and vice versa. You're not going to be able to understand the reality like the way they see it. And I mean, I think there's definitely some unique relationships, rare, that are so loving that there's a good possibility that there's a lot more potential for that understanding. But in general, it's not really going to translate the way we try to express ourselves. And I'm not trying to be all doom and gloom about it, but it's a sad reality. I remember back in 2010, I realized some things. I came to some life experiences that at the end of the day, you're kind of like on your own, no matter, and that, but you'll get what you need. It's probably not going to come from where you thought it would be, but it's kind of discouraging to think that you can't have a conversation with some people about things that you're experiencing, that without them sort of like rolling their eyes and saying, "Oh man, what's wrong with this dude?" What's wrong with this dude? Maybe he's just trying to tell you something that's he doesn't quite understand. He needs a little help with it. But if we're not willing to give each other that attention, then of course it's going to come apart. So do your best to like give each other, some courtesy, communication wise, and listen a little bit to each other, especially if someone comes to you with, comes to you with the intent to express, a part of their life or their experience that is challenging to them, instead of just dismissing it because maybe a group of people just don't see it. That doesn't mean that person's experience is not real to them. And same goes for someone. If they're really trying to come to you with something, then give them give them your ears, man. Try to steer them in the right way. I personally had some really unique things happening with me that to this day, if I lined up the 10 closest people in my life, I would almost guarantee you that all 10 of them would sign off and say, there's no way, there's something wrong with this dude. What he's saying is in his reality is not real. It's there's something wrong with his brain and something wrong with, and I can personally say I know assuredly that what I experienced was physical, was real. Of course, the spiritual attachment is driven by spirit, but the things I experienced were real and and ongoing. And just because other people don't experience those things or would even consider that doesn't mean it's not real. So I guess my attempts to communicate these things to people close to me have made people grow away from me because they just assume, no, there's something wrong with this dude. There's no way. It sounds, I actually spoke to someone today, and for the first time, someone very close to me. And at least after all these years, like 6 years, I've been trying to intermittently express some of these things. And at least today, I had him say, well, it is a little hard to believe. Well, thank you. Thank you for at least acknowledging what I'm saying. I'm not trying to deny that it's hard to believe. I always said it sounds crazy because it is crazy. I mean, but that doesn't mean it's not real. Just because you never experienced it or you may never, I wouldn't want you to. But all as I know, if somebody real close to me came to me with a real serious concern of theirs, I would hope that I would at least be willing to listen and not just change the subject because, out of fear of, entertaining it is just going to sort of what would that be? Like enabling that, the sickness to perpetuate, when in effect, really what perhaps someone would need is the opportunity to express it, to possibly establish another perspective, not have someone just avoid it, So, I mean, if something sounds impossible, okay, or improbable, you say, listen, man, it sounds pretty improbable, and, let's talk about it for a minute. So, what are you basing this on? And, but people, have been so quick to dismiss my claims or, that it was even discouragement on top of discouragement. I mean, I'm coming to you with a problem that I'm experiencing really in my life. I'm not making this up. And then to have almost everybody close to me dismiss it like it's almost like they're saying, well, no, you're just crazy. There's no way. And looking at each other and like rolling their eyes. Oh, man, he's talking about that again. Like, man, I'm talking about it again because it's still going on. I'm not saying it's as bad as it was, but either way, I would hope that I would, I'm almost certain I think I would respond with a little bit more interest. But, I'm not knocking them. It is, it's just what I'm saying. You could go your entire life and you'll never be understood. And the more you try to express yourself or your reality, most likely you're going to push people away. Or, in my case, unfortunately, because of their lack of even willingness to even hear me out, unfortunately for me, I sort of ultimately began to conclude that they might be participants in this thing. I'm probably wrong about that, and I'll admit it. And I made some claims that were pretty bad, and that was my fault. I just didn't know what else to think. This thing could be perpetuating without any help from anybody. Nobody's giving me any. Their responses were so like dismissed. It's like, well, you start to think, well, maybe they're involved, or maybe they're behind it. I mean, can't you just give me a few minutes to talk to you? I'm not on drugs. I'm not out of my mind. I'm trying to talk to you about something, but you won't let me because it doesn't sound like it's possible or probable. Well, to you, it's probably not, because it's not happening to you. It's happening to me. I'm trying to tell you to get some help. I thought you cared about me. Well, they did, but now they don't, because I sort of, I guess, probably concluded that they might be involved in it, and I was probably wrong doing that. But I had to go the whole process alone, and so be it, man. That's why I sit here talking to a phone alone. I'm not saying poor me. Yeah, I'm pretty poor right now. But maybe I don't even understand myself anymore. I know what I know. And I would hope to think that I would not shut the door on anybody, for 6 years. Just, because they all collectively concluded that, oh man, it must be trauma from this or trauma from that, or he must be losing his mind. Or did you consider that maybe he's actually telling the truth? And as crazy as it sounds, people do some pretty messed up shit, And yeah, I was targeted by some people to fuck with my mind for a long time. I tried to express it, but my friends and family weren't having it. I think some of my friends were sort of aware and involved, but I sort of associated my family and start putting them in it too, and I was probably wrong about that. But just because they were not even like receiving my claims even a little bit, it made me suspicious. That not initially, I was just like, initially I thought, okay, they're just thinking I'm just having some mental or emotional episode, that's sort of like, he needs psychiatric help kind of shit, and that's, but after a while, I start to read more into it. And unfortunately, I guess I implicated them as participants, and that was probably wrong. And I'll admit that I was wrong. I accused my family of doing some things to me, like almost, perhaps like promoting or being the source of this. And that was wrong. And that didn't happen so recently. After 6 years of having like nobody be willing to listen to my claims, as real as they were. I'm not crazy. I'm not. And I got documents to prove I'm not. I'm not crazy. What I experienced was unique. And I'm not the only person this happens to. Do you ever hear of gang stalking? Well, I know a little bit about it. I know a lot about it, actually. I would never do it. They're a bunch of fools and, a bunch of demonic bitches. Anybody that would do that to any individual, But, yeah, I was a victim of really widespread, horrible gang stalking, community harassment. But I'm talking like widespread, persistent. And no, I'm not crazy. I know what I saw. I know what I experienced. And a lot of people have experienced this. But those of us who haven't can't imagine that. Oh, there's no way. He's paranoid. He thinks there's something, people following him and doing this. Oh, no. There were some assholes. I mean, a lot of them committed to this. And I couldn't even express this to the people close to me because it made it sound like I'm crazy. Well, maybe I am now. Crazy for thinking I had people that could understand me. So, like I said in the beginning, probably go a whole lifetime without being understood. And my attempts to be understood chased everybody away. So here I sit alone again today. Oh well. Sorry I had to be that way. I guess it's my fault. I chose to target myself. Yeah. Somebody else did. And a whole bunch of people thought it was probably a good idea. And it was necessary. And I'm not saying that my family's involved. I was wrong for saying they were. I even claimed that they were trying to kill me. Because I was, and I was wrong. Sorry for that. I even named names, my brothers and stuff. Like, I'm sorry, my mom and dad. They didn't try to kill me. I'm sorry for that, guys. Can't forgive me, can't forgive me. What can I say? But I'm not crazy. I know what I know. There's some people out there doing some dumb shit. These secret societies or whoever the fuck they are. Whatever their agenda is, I don't know. They get a kick out of destroying someone's life. Trying to take everything from them on the DL, No one will know. We just do this. And if he tries to report, it's going to make him sound crazy. His family already thinks he's crazy because every time they try to talk to them, they don't want nothing to do with it. Oh, well. My bad. Maybe I'm crazy now. Not. No, I'm not. I'm alone. I'm a people person. I love people. But I have no one in my life right now. And I'm not saying that to get pity. But it's unbelievable. It's freaking unbelievable. I guess the gang stalkers won. They got what they wanted. They got me isolated. Oh, maybe he'll just kill himself. Maybe. Maybe I will. At this point. The fuck? Really? Thanks for the support, guys. Love you. Buddha Lit Logic.